Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you are not new, and we're going to be going down a new common route today. This is the third route in the 9-rip game that we are playing, and so you could start here if you wanted to. We're going to be going down Sena, which let me double check what route that is. So Sena and Koyo are in this one, and it's called Urban Legends. And if you haven't watched Kureha and Hibiki, you probably don't need to, but I will say this. Up front. I'm not going to be withholding any spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers for Kureha or Hibiki, I would suggest watching those first. Otherwise, you're going to be getting some comments and some information from me because I've already read them. So I'll probably be comparing them to their roots. I'll probably be saying, oh, I don't know. If they show up, I'm pretty sure they'll show up because Sena was connected to Hibiki because Hibiki knew who he was and he became a singer. Koyo is connected to Kureha, I'm pretty sure, because I think they're friends in this one. Or I think they were friends in Kureha's route. I think that was mentioned at the end. So I will be giving information based on what I've already read for their roots. So if you don't want any of that, I would suggest watching my episodes in the order that I posted them, and I do have episode numbers next to them so it's easier for you to follow along with. I have them all in a playlist, and I will link that playlist at the end of this episode. Anyway, let's get started with Seiya's route, or Sena, not Seiya. I wish we were doing Seiya. We're going to be going to the prologue selection, and I'm not going to be doing the prologue over again, so if you haven't seen the prologue, you will have to watch episode 1. But we're going to be going to the prologue selection, and we're going to, I think it's check some materials in the library. Yep, check some materials in the library. I don't know how we get to the last common route, but that's probably after all of this. The first selection that was chosen led us to the ghost stories. Maybe something here could spark my interest or guide me in where I'm supposed to go. She's having trouble with her career essay, I think it is, and choosing where she wants to do and go after graduating. I went to the library to look for information on various colleges and careers. There were school and company pamphlets everywhere. This wasn't my first time coming here. I had come here many times with the same goal. I know that if I had some idea of what I want to do, it would be easier to convince my mom to let me choose a different path in life. As these thoughts ran through my head, I rifled through the various college pamphlets. What? At the table next to me, a group of girls were looking through the magazine excitedly. Well, that makes sense. He's probably in a magazine.
Sena エスクラウンの元センター？元じゃないし、セナは永遠のセンターだから。
She sure seems excited. I craned my neck and turned to glance over at the two girls at the table. There was a picture of an idol giving his fans a faint smile. I think I've seen that guy before. He was a pretty famous idol, right?
いや、セナマジで天才だから。デビュー曲のバイナリームーンも作詞作曲セナだからね。マルチタレント的な感じっていうか、基本何でもできるんだけど、ちょっとだけダンスは苦手でさ。
Tragic genius. Uncovering the truth behind the tragedy, huh?
まあ、そこが可愛いんだけど。
It's going to be hard moving on from ghost stories where all the ghosts there are connected to the Skigami mass murder incident to because I'm thinking, oh, how did Sena die? How did in the Skigami thing, but it's not going to be connected to the ghost stories at all. So he's going to have some other form of dying, and he's probably not even in the school. Which means we finally get to leave the school, oh my goodness. Oh, that's Sena, I remember him. Actually, I didn't know all that much about idols. He got very sick and didn't recover. He ultimately died of his illness. I remember when he died, even the broadcast stations made a really big deal about it. His funeral was packed with fans. I think someone even tried to commit suicide after. Oh my goodness.
悲劇の天才か。デビューしてからまだ数年だったし、ほんと残念だよね。
Wow. He wasn't idle for very long.
でも、会えるみたいなんだよね。幽霊のセナに。ほら、これ見て。
The girl turned to show her friend her phone. No matter how I strained my eyes, I couldn't read the words on the screen.
これ、都市伝説のサイト？へえ、成見ヶ浜の都市伝説か。こんなサイトあるんだね。見るところ違うって。ほら、この書き込み見て。星を眺める青年。海浜公園に行ったらSクラウンのセナに会えた？うわ、嘘くさい。海浜公園限定ってのが意味わからないし、セナにゆかりがある場所なの
？Beachfront Park. That's super close, right?
それがね、セナって最後海浜公園の中にある芝生広場で倒れてたらしいよ。仰向けになった状態で発見されて、まるで夜空を見上げているみたいに見えたって噂があるの。
I had no idea that he died at the park. Actually, that sounds more like a rumor than anything else. But if it were true, I couldn't help but wonder why he died there.
この都市伝説、ファンの間ではかなり有名なんだよ。幽霊でも会いたいっていう人が。
I couldn't help but be captivated by the story.
上の空って感じだね。
Before I realized it, Sayaka appeared. She stared at me with a smile on her face. I got distracted again. In the end, I wasn't able to come up with any ideas for my future. How pathetic.
少し気になっちゃって様子を見に来たらサボってるんだもんな。
I got so distracted by the story I couldn't concentrate.
そうだと思ったよ。ミサの視線、チラチラそっちを見てたもん。でも、セナのファンだっけ？
Well, I'm not really. It's just entertaining to hear about local urban legends. Sayaka's eyes gleamed with excitement. You've done it now. Now I've done it.
それなら最近、結構熱い都市伝説があるよ。
There's literally no stopping her now. So I simply let her continue with her story.
今年になってから幸せのメリーさんの噂が出回ったんだ。もちろんこの町の都市伝説だよ。
Mary, Mary. Wasn't there a scary story about someone named Mary? You get a call and it says something like, I'm Mary and I'm near your house. And then she keeps calling and getting closer, right?
それが代表的なメリーさん。電話がキーアイテムになってるのは同じなんだけど、この町のメリーさんは死者の言葉を届けてくれるっていう噂なんだ。
Eek, that sounds pretty scary, right?
それじゃあ、大切な人からの言葉だったら、どう？
Someone important. I immediately thought of my father. I can only vaguely remember him, and I couldn't count the number of times I wanted to talk to him.
幸せのメリーさんが届けてくれるのは、今は亡き大切な人からのメッセージ。
Though there are heartwarming urban legends too. I wouldn't mind meeting this Mary Mary.
そろそろ帰ろう。あ、帰りがけにさ、駅前にある喫茶店でパフェ食べない？それ食べたら晩ご飯が入らないって。
I was quickly jolted back to reality as I watched the two students from before get ready to leave. I looked at my watch. It was indeed getting late. I dejectedly shrugged my shoulders and decided to head home with Sayaka. In the end, I didn't decide anything.
もういっそのことさ。私と同じ聖銀大学にしちゃいなよ。
I guess that's the only choice left.
本
Her voice suddenly got very loud and excited, and I couldn't help but stop in my tracks.
当？ねえ、聖銀大学にするって本
I honestly didn't expect that reaction from her. The truth is, I was only joking, but sorry, I was just kidding about that. I thought if I honestly told her that, I might be able to get away with it. But Sayaka's demeanor changed immediately.
当？冗談。なんだ。そっか。
Oh, you made her upset. She looked as though she was going to cry, and I immediately felt terrible. Sorry, I shouldn't have.
大丈夫だよ。冗談って分かってたし。
You're lying. You have tears in your eyes. In spite of the smile on her face, her eyes were still wet with tears. It's not okay. I could tell just by looking at you. In the attempt to hide her tears streaming down her face, I could turn her back to me.
私、用事があったんだった。先に帰ってて。
Without waiting for my reply, she ran off. Ooh, Sayaka perspective. Oh my goodness. I ran back to the empty library and slumped down into a chair. What was I thinking, crying in front of Misa like that? But I simply couldn't handle it anymore. Why didn't Misa tell me she didn't want to go to Seiin University with me before? That hurt more than anything.
やだ。ミサがいないと、また、一人になっちゃう。
I stood up uneasily. My cell phone fell to the floor with a clank. As I stared blankly down at the screen, a thought came to me. That's right, the spell I'd seen on social media. That one would work. I quickly searched the internet for the spell and took the necessary items out of my bag. Spell? Paper, a blood red pen.
最後は、髪をちぎって。
As I checked the final step, my head filled with a mix of frustration and anxiety. Is this really the right thing to do? But if I don't do it, I'll lose my best friend. What's she going to do? Oh my goodness. I didn't know she was that lonely. So is her friend going to be in this route now? The next day, Sayaka was absent from school. Maybe because of what happened yesterday. I took my smartphone out of my pocket and opened up my messages app. She still hasn't read it. After the incident, I had sent Sayaka a message, but she hadn't responded yet. I bet even if I call her, she won't pick up. With a sigh, I opened my bag and took out the blank career path survey that had been causing me so much trouble. All I'd managed to write was my name and class. If I were to go to Seiin University, it would make Sayaka happy. It would make my mom happy too. For now, I decided to visit Sayaka's place after school. I'm gonna cast a spell on you. Before I knew it, the final bell had rung and school was out for the day. I'm gonna go ahead and keep reading this even though we read it in the first common route, but it's been a long time. Well, I said common route, but it's still the prologue. Getting ready to head home, I took my books out of my desk and found the blank sheet of paper where I was supposed to write about my future. Maybe I should write Seiin University and just be done with it. As the thought entered my mind, I felt a sharp ringing in my ear.
探しましょう。
Huh? I quickly looked around the room, but there was no one else there. There's nobody here. Where had everybody gone? There were so many people here just a while ago. So many strange things that had been happening to me. I felt dazed and my muscles felt cold. Maybe I should go see a doctor or something.
探しましょう。あなたの道を。
This time I heard it clear as day. There it is again, that voice. Who are you? I called out to the empty room.
僕はあなたを闇へ誘う者。
I forgot she keeps having this voice talk to her throughout the prologue.
これから先は困難しかありません。でもどうか諦めないで。前を向ければ必ず見つかります。あなただけの道が。
The moment the voice stopped, let's see, in the last common route, or I guess, yeah, it was the common route. Hibiki thought that this was a god. Actually, Seiya thought it was a god, and Hibiki think, well, it must be a good god, right? Because it didn't seem like it had any bad intentions. I guess is the, for lack of a better terminology, malicious intent was what I was thinking. My eyes got all blurry and my head shook. Then all at once, my world went dark. I put my elbows on the desk and laid my head down, then... Oh, it shattered. The career path survey was torn to shreds. What? In the last one, she got a phone call from her mother, and then, the career path survey went blank and fell to the floor. It wasn't finally cut with scissors, but it appeared to be ripped into numerous pieces. And she has to go collect all the pieces. Oh, just get the phone call. The sound of my phone jolted me up. I thought I had it on silent. I quickly took out my phone and then... Huh? What's this? Is it broken? Who's it going to be from? I could tell the call was coming from Sayaka, but the strange look on the screen made me tremble with fear. Hello? Ah. The strange noise emanating from the phone caused me to pull the phone away from my ear. No way, is the battery dead? I just charged it this morning. Story of my life. I tried fiddling with it, but the screen never came back on. It appeared completely broken. Yeah, it must be some kind of malfunction, right? Still, because of the strange look on the phone earlier, I couldn't help but think something strange was going on. First, I should head to Sayaka's house. Then, as I was leaving, I noticed something else. The string holding the charm attached to my bag was cut, and the charm had fallen to the floor. That's very odd timing. It's probably not good to leave it like this. I should return it to the shrine. Return it. Return it. Okay. Something happened before, didn't it? The voice, the image of the shredded survey. No matter how much I tried to rationalize it, that simply wasn't normal. I couldn't just throw the survey away. I had written my name on it, and anyone could see whose it was. The ripped pieces were large, and someone wouldn't even need to put them together to see my name on it. No way I could throw it away in a school garbage can, that's for sure. I'd have to deal with it when I got home, but I worried my mom would find it. For now, I'll just have to wrap it in something to hide it in the back of my closet. As I thought that, I felt something dropped at my feet and I stopped. It was a piece of the career path survey with my name written on it in my own handwriting. I had just finished stuffing that paper into my bag. No way, what is this? I quickly turned to check inside my bag and found the zipper was closed. Something about this is really strange. Odd as it was, I simply couldn't leave it there. But as I got down to pick it up, it was swept up by the wind and flew away. Oh no. Ah. It flew toward the street and I stopped myself before stepping into the street. Or at least I thought I did. Oh no. Is she gonna be dead in this one? Or a coma? I knew that was gonna happen. My game froze. There we go. The flashing red lights, the sound of voices, the noise, all of it faded into darkness. Oh, he did say he's gonna whisk you away to darkness. The darkness washed its way across my vision, and soon I couldn't hear anything at all. I wonder if that's Sena. Who? Who was that? Chapter 1, Urban Legends. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't want this to be a 20-minute episode, so we're going to include chapter 1 in this. Uh-oh. But is she really alive? He said he couldn't save her, so I wonder if she's dead and she thinks she's alive. right? Fear sunk its icy talons into my heart, and I leapt out of bed. As I breathed in and out violently, I was greeted by the sound of a singing sparrow and the sight of a familiar ceiling. A favorite rug that my sister gave me one year for my birthday. I was back in my normal room. What a terrible nightmare. Just thinking back on it filled me with dread. But when did I come home? I couldn't remember anything from the previous day. Let's see, I went to class, and after school, what did I do? As I thought, I looked absent-mindedly at the clock on the wall. What? It's already after 8 o'clock. You're late. Mom, sis, why didn't you guys wake me up? No, it was my fault for coming home and falling asleep right away. I didn't even change my clothes. I ran down to the living room and found it quiet and completely empty. They must have gone to work early. Oh, right, my bag. I searched for my bag, which wasn't in my bedroom. I checked the living room as well, even though I never left my bag in there. Unable to find it, I went back to my room to look for it there. Why now of all times? Doorbell? Then I stomped my way back to the first floor. I opened the door. That voice, was that Sayaka? I was a little scared when I first heard the door open, but was relieved that Sayaka was there. Still, it's a little weird that the door was left unlocked. As I contemplated all of this, I rushed down to the first floor to see Sayaka waiting for me. Morning, I slept in late today, though I guess you did too, huh? Anyway, I can't find my bag, so I can't quite leave yet. She can't see you, can she? Sayaka stared silently back at me, a terribly sad look on her face. That's right, I haven't apologized to Sayaka yet. I couldn't remember what happened yesterday, but I made her cry the day before. Sayaka. You spoke at nearly the same time. Sayaka, why are you sorry? Wait a second, why are you apologizing to everyone? Then, after bowing deeply, she ran. Sayaka. So, I wonder if she's spirited away or if she died. So bring her back. That could be either back from the dead or back from wherever she was spirited away to. I think the theme of this game is spiriting away. So I think even in this one, she's spirited away. Because when I was reading the review, it was saying that, you know, if you want to read things with less spoilers, save it. I forget which route it was for last. Because it has the real meaning behind the reason why she was spirited away. I think that's the whole theme of this game. Without replying, Sayaka fled, nearly slamming the door in my face, but I barely slipped through. Sayaka just kept running, and I sped off after her. Sayaka had always been faster than me, and in the end I couldn't catch her. I tripped and fell hard on the ground. Ouch, just my luck. It was impossible to reach her now, but I assumed she was going to school. Slowly I stood up. Thankfully my fall wasn't too bad. I didn't even scrape my knee. I dusted off my uniform, let out a sigh, and started to walk. Still, my mind raced with what could have caused Sayaka to act like that. After seeing Sayaka run off into the distance, I decided to head to school and only realized when I got there that I'd forgotten my bag. I felt so stupid having come the whole way. Well, I'm already here. I might as well just head inside. I can just tell the teacher. So what kind of high school student forgets their bag? You haven't forgotten it. You just can't find it, probably because they got rid of it a long time ago. Or it's in a special place in your mom's room. The door was left open, so I decided to peek inside before entering. It was the middle of our morning homeroom meeting.
みんな、落ち着いて聞いてくれ。
My teacher began the announcement as usual. I'll head inside once he finishes up. Not wanting to interrupt, I just waited outside the door listening to the announcements.
知っている人もいるかもしれないが、昨日、つくも神社前にある交差点で交通事故があった。
Oh, it was just yesterday? So there was an accident?
事故に遭ったのは、うちのクラスの一式だ。
What?
一色さん、道路に飛び出したらしいよ。
急いでたとかかな。
どうだろう。自殺。
Wait.
そういうのやめな。最低だよ。
What's going on?
誰か見た人いないの？あの辺通学路の人いるでしょ
But I'm right here.
あ、俺部活帰りに現場見たぜ。規制線張られてていっぱい警察がいた。何かの事故かなって思ったんだけど、一式だったとかマジかよ。
But I woke up normally today. I came to school like I always do. Like always, right?
みんな静かに。勝手な憶測で話すのはやめなさい。不安な気持ちはわかるが、妙な噂を広げないように。以上だ。
With that, the teacher turned towards me and proceeded to walk directly through me. Ah. No, this has to be some kind of joke. At least that's what I thought, but the teacher had actually walked right through me. So I'm a ghost? No, I don't believe it. I mean, I don't remember dying. I held my trembling hands up to the wall, but as I pushed forward, instead of lying flat against the wall, my hands fell through it. I'm really dead. I couldn't understand because everything seemed so normal. You have regrets. You're being kept here. I couldn't remember what happened after that, but I knew I wanted to get away from the rumors my fellow students were whispering about me. I wandered aimlessly around the school until I lost my footing, tripped, and fell. It was the second time that day. How stupid. The only reason I thought it hurt before was because I thought I was alive. In truth, when I fell again, I felt nothing. I'm so stupid. Tears began streaming down my face. Why did I go running in the street like that? Not only could I not remember, I struggled to remember anything that happened after school. Why? Why would I jump into the road? Not knowing why I did it, I couldn't even regret my actions. All I could do was lay on the floor and cry as the feet of my fellow students trampled over me.
いくら幽霊だからって、その格好は大胆すぎでしょう。
Easy for you. What? In the muffled voices of the crowd, I heard the word ghost. I looked up towards the source. Is it Koyo?
あ
I
ん
think
た
it is.
新米の幽霊でしょ。大丈夫？
He's wearing green. I think it is. Yeah. Is he talking to me? I've been ignored by everyone until now. I almost couldn't believe he was talking to me.
ねえ、大丈夫なの？
Like, hello in there. That's funny. I looked around in disbelief, but it really did seem as though he was talking to me.
さ、聞こえてんでしょ？大丈夫なのかって聞いてんだけど。
I'm trying to ask if you're okay. Yes, I can hear you.
そう、よかった。返事ないから生きてる側に話しかけちゃったかと思ったわ。
Worried, huh? Why did he say that you're wearing a school uniform so that makes it easy for me? But that outfit really doesn't make things easy for me. Okay, it doesn't. Still, what does that mean?
てか、あんたここの制服着てっから紛らわしい。
Find you? Who are you? What do you want? What do you mean by that?
この時間に この学校でその制服。
Oh, is someone trying to find her as a ghost? But she blends in too well. Finally, I realized what he was talking about. He must mean it was hard to spot me among the other living students. Based on his looks, I wouldn't have been able to tell he was a ghost if he hadn't already told me. Or maybe he's some kind of medium or something. So, you're a ghost too?
そうじゃなかったらあんたに話しかけられてない。
I know, right? Yeah, I guess so. I was quite relieved, as foolish as that may have been.
そろそろカウントダウンするけどいい？
The countdown? Huh?
5、4、3、2、1。
What's wrong with him? Not knowing what he was planning, I instinctively pulled my hand away from him.
さっさと手を取らないあんたが悪い。
Oh, did he mean he was going to help me up? Then he quickly pulled me up.
お前の優しさは期限付きなのか？待ってあげればいいだろう。
He quickly or Kureha did? Has an expiration date. Yeah, see, I knew Kureha would be in here. He knows him. I think they're friends. The person who appeared next left me speechless. I know, right? A sword. A kimono. There was a large amount of blood on his stomach. He wore a very old-style clothing, as well as a sword around his waist.
刀を持った血まみれの男に注意。
A blood boy. Was that Kara?
ん？そんな顔をしてどうし？
Ah! I screamed at his outstretched hand and inadvertently jumped back.
そういう反応は傷つくのだが。
Aww. I miss him so much. He's like the sweetest guy ever. The Koyo seems sarcastic. Though, I don't know how Sena is, but I think Kureha is still going to be my favorite over Koyo.
でも慣れてるでしょ。あんたの見た目って幽霊からしてもインパクトでかすぎるし。
Says the person with a mask.
それにこの人ド新人なんだから生きていた時の感覚抜けてないって。
He appeared totally calm, but Kara's face remained hurt. I'm terribly sorry. Your look is just not like anything I've ever seen before.
いいんだ。気にしないでくれ。紅葉が言ったように慣れている。
In spite of his words, he smiled sadly back at me. That wasn't very nice of me. Anyway, while I'm happy to meet new people, I had no intention of sticking around. Well, if you'll excuse me.
また悲しみにくれるつもり？
I don't see how that's any of your business. Happy as I was that he came to talk to me, I didn't like how casually he spoke to me. As I was about to walk away, the guide called Koyo grabbed me forcefully by the arm. Excuse you.
クレハさんに世話かけられないし、俺がこの子預かるわ。うつしよのこととか教えてやらないとね。
Why can't you leave her in Kureha's care? He takes exceptionally good care of her. Thank you very much. Yeah, I quite liked his I wouldn't say his route. It was the Seven Wonders was a little bit boring, but Kureha cared more about her than anything. I need to teach you about this world. Huh? It seemed that Katakara's real name was Kureha, and he nodded along with Koyo's words.
お前が適任だろうな。優しくしてあげろ。さっきのようなことはしてやるな。
Yeah, when he found out she was a living creature, he made it his first priority to get her back. But now that she's dead, he's like, yeah, whatever.
はいはい。
Koyo waved his hand dismissively and began walking, pulling me by the arm. I'm fine, really, now let me go.
大の字で寝転んで大泣きしてたのに？
What's your point? I hated that I had no comeback to that. But maybe this is just his way of saying that he's worried about me.
それにしてもいい拾い物した。
A good one, what? What's that supposed to mean?
あんたを拾えてラッキーってこと。
What are your motives? You're suspicious. I tried to shake free from his grasp but found I was unable to do so. In the end, he ended up practically dragging me along with him. Kureha said don't be too rough with her. Doesn't listen. He stopped in front of a busy commuter station. No matter how much I yelled for him to let go of my arm, none of the people around us noticed. I gave up and sat down on the bench next to him.
気が済んだ。
Because you gave her no choice. I'd rather just say I'm taking a break.
幽霊なのに疲れるとか珍しい。まあ、精神的に疲れることはあるけど。
I'm gonna take a break from yelling at you. Emotional.
さっきあんたがしてたこと。現状に嘆き悲しむ。
Oh.
まあ、死んだばかりなら仕方ないし、思い切り泣けばいいけど。あんまり思い詰めたりしない方がいい。心が病むと、いくら幽霊でも支障をきたす。
I don't really get what you mean. What's so bad about a ghost being upset? He paused a bit before speaking.
悪霊と化す。
His answer was short, but something about it filled me with a terror. I didn't totally understand what he was talking about, but I somehow knew that it was something to be feared.
だから気をつけて。心配事とかあるなら誰でもいいから吐き出して。幸いあんたには、俺はさっき学校で会ったクレハさんがいる。話したい時は聞いてやれる。それだけ忘れないで。
Finally, I began to understand why he was acting so concerned before. What he says is true, then. Thank you very much for warning me. But I only just met you. Why are you being so kind to me? With that question, he averted his eyes. It looked as though he was thinking back on something. Then he quickly turned back to face me.
あんた、危なっかしいから。すぐ自爆するタイプの人っぽい。
That's a pretty terrible thing to say. Lose control. I'd never do something like that. I've been able to accept my death. Now the next thing to do is... I stopped unable to figure out what to say next. What am I supposed to do next?
成仏だろ。
You mean I didn't do that already?
当たり前だろ。成仏した幽霊が写しをフラフラしてないって。
That was rude.
まあ、俺も成仏してないし、したやつに会ったこともないから、どんな世界なのかわかんないけど。
So the state we're in now.
浮遊霊。写しに心残りがあって、成仏できてない。
This world, what do you mean by that? I thought he mentioned it at the school once.
ここ。聖者。生きている人が住む世界。他に隔離よってのがあるけど、それは死者の住む世界。まあ、天国とか地獄とか、そういうとこじゃない。詳しくは知らないけど。
So all that stuff is real? If there was a world of the dead, that was probably where my father was. If that was the case, I wanted to be with him.
で、心残りだけど、当てはあんの？
Well, if I had to say, thoughts of my family came to mind and I immediately felt consumed with sadness. Mom, sis, I must have made them both so sad. I couldn't help but wonder how they were doing, but I knew it would be too painful to visit them at that point. Then there was Sayaka. I had made her cry, which ended up being the last time I saw her. I still felt bad about that. If only there was a way to talk to Sayaka, but I guess that's impossible. Feeling low, I felt a tap on my shoulder.
頭の整理がつくまで、俺の仕事手伝って。
What do you do? Huh? With that, he quickly stood up.
明日ここに昼の1時。よろしくね。
Wait a second, what do you mean your work? So the concept of work exists even for people who have died?
あ、忘れてた。俺のことは、Koyoって呼んで。
Right, got it. Hey, wait. Can you at least tell me about this job?
まさか学生だからなんて言わないよね。勉強で忙しいわけないし、学校がバイト禁止でも関係ないし。
Well, Wasn't planning on rejecting the job for reasons he mentioned, but his words also helped me realize something. He's right, I guess I don't have to worry about my future at all anymore. I was dead after all, I didn't have much of a future, much less a career to think about. I quickly realized I wouldn't have to carry those worries around with me anymore. Though that's probably not something to be happy about.
ねえ、聞いてる？おーい。
Ah, sorry. Anyway, just let me think about the job, okay? I need some time to think it over alone. Silently, I wondered if there was some way for me to get in contact with Sayaka. I simply can't leave things as they are.
あ、そう。来たくなきゃいい。
Ah, thanks, that's a relief.
俺が勝手にあんたを探すから。
I'll just come find you. So you are forcing me to do it.
で、あんたの名前は？
What's with this guy? Why is he so forward? We just met. I know, I feel like this guy's going to get on my nerves. I wasn't sure what to do, so I replied. Okay, just like in Kureha's route, we're going to go through every choice that isn't directly involved with Koyo. So, the affection up is Ishiki in both of them. We're just going to say nothing at first. I didn't feel comfortable telling him right away. I didn't like how casual he was with me, so I decided to stay silent.
あ、そう。そういう態度取るわけね。
What does he mean by that?
じゃあ俺が勝手につけるわ。七種のゴンベイってことで、ゴンベイね。はい、決定。
Jane. My name's Misa Ishiki. Despising the thought of being called Jane Doe, I blurted out my name. Why do I feel like he beat me?
あー、残念。一足遅かったわ。もう決定しちゃったからごめんね、ゴンベイ。
Oh my goodness. Don't call me that.
必死すぎ。からかっただけじゃん。
I should have just told him my name.
てか、さっき考えたいことあるって言ったけど、それって心残りに関係ある？
Yes. Please don't ask me anymore. Alright, we're gonna go back up and tell him our name. Ishiki. It's Ishiki Misa. I was still uncertain about him, but since he'd given me his name, I figured I should at least give him mine. He may be a little bit pushy, but I don't think he's the bad person.
素直。いいパートナーになりそう。
I haven't agreed to do this job with you, so don't call me your partner.
ミサは俺の拾い物だけど、拾ったものをどうしようと俺の勝手でしょ。
So he just skipped last name. He's just gonna call her by her first name. Now I wish he would have just left me on the ground. I couldn't help it. He ticked me off, I know, right? I don't like him either. When I turned my face away from him, he pinched my cheek. Hey.
そういう顔してると悪いこと起きんぞ。
You like when they give you the stink eye? I slapped his hand away, but rather than getting upset, he merely laughed happily.
いいね。あんたのこと気に入ってきた。
What's he so happy about? I hadn't the faintest idea.
てか、さっき考えたいことあるって言ったけど、それって心残りに関係ある？
Yes. Please don't ask me anymore. Even if he asked, I wasn't sure I could answer. Koyo had been very kind to me, but I wasn't ready to tell him everything about me yet. Still, seeing as he dragged me this far, I get the feeling he's going to end up asking me. I decided to try and chase the subject before he could ask. There's something I want to ask you. The whole thing felt incredibly forced. His skeptical look is killing me. I knew I had to come up with something to ask. Why is it that people who are alive don't seem to notice us? Though I came up with the question on the spot, it was thanks in part to Sayaka. She often thought about things like that.
そんなの無理に決まってんじゃん。霊力ある人間なら別だけど、普通の人間にはまず無理。
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I should have known that was the case, but I still couldn't help but feel disappointed. It finally began to hit me that Sayaka didn't notice me at all before.
人間には無理でも、犬とか猫なら反応する時もある。赤ん坊もだっけか。 どうだったかな。
You think babies can see us?
赤ん坊の時の記憶ないし、聞いても答えてくれないから真偽は不明。
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. Koyo, you sure seem to know a lot about this stuff. Were you into the occult before?
まあ、ちょっとね。今のはネットに載ってる知識だし、結構知ってるやついる。
Huh, what does that mean?
聞きたいことってそれだけ？
Yeah, thanks for letting me know. Now go away.
どういたしまして。また何かあったらいつでも聞いてきて。それじゃあ明日。
Right, tomorrow. Wait, I never said I was going to help you with your job. Koyo merely laughed at my response and disappeared into the crowd of people. He could be a little forceful, but I was glad to have him teach me about this world of the dead. Back before, if I'd kept on crying like that, my emotions could have gotten out of control. Thanks to him swooping in and pulling me out of there, I seem to have calmed down. Thanks, Koyo. I turned to face the direction he walked off in and silently thanked him under my breath. After splitting up with Misa, as various things ran through my mind, I found myself in front of the Skumo shrine. Stopping to admire the sea, my thoughts drifted to her. Maybe I should have stayed with her a little longer. My brow furrowed.
成仏させてやりたいな。
I tried to distract her as much as possible, but I think I just ended up annoying her. I know, right? Not that there was anything wrong with that. A little light conversation to get her mind off of things is probably best.
さて。
I looked over to check the time on the foot of someone passing by. It was almost evening. Knowing him would be at the park already, I could head there later tonight. Now I had another person to add to the list of people I wanted to help cross over. I still had some time before nightfall. That gave me some time to look for clues about my regrets. And the person I died with here. Oh. Who did you die with? Did you die with her? Is that going to be in his route? Actually, no, it can't be her, right? Because he's been in the ghost world for a long time, so he wasn't the one who tried to save her. Because he knows a lot about this world, and he has a job, so there's no way he could have died as the one trying to save her. Anyway, a little after I split up with Koyo, I decided to visit Beachfront Park. The breeze feels nice, but I couldn't be sure if I was still able to feel the wind or if I was just imagining it. Still, the cool sea breeze brushed my forehead and I felt myself calming down. Alright, now, I wasn't here just to enjoy the breeze. Sayaka always walked this path here with her dog. Barring some special circumstances, they'd walk here every morning and either evening or night. Will she come here during the evening or night? For now, I'll just wait here. It turned out that the question I asked Koyo before had contained some useful info after all. Will Sayaka come today? She will. She just has to. But I didn't know how I'd talk to her. But if she brought her dog with her, perhaps there'd be some way to reach her. If Koyo knew about the rumors of the dog being able to see ghosts, then surely cult-obsessive Sayaka would know that one too. Well, all of that depended on whether or not her dog could see me. No, I'll be fine. Something will work out. Knowing that nobody would be able to hear me, I let myself shout the words out loud. I was slowly getting used to my new existence and felt slightly refreshed by it. Still, what am I supposed to do while I wait? I guess I could just take in the scenery. I knew he was going to run into Sena, sorry. Dang it, I'm going to call him Sena this whole route. They both have blonde hair, I can't help it. Near the edge of my field of vision, I saw a man. He was shrinking his slender frame behind a slide on the playground. Though he's trying to hide and watch her. Even while hiding, he still managed to stand out. He was strikingly good looking. That guy sure looks cool. Hmm? Could that be Sena? Speaking of which, I know you're at the park.
公園に行ったらSクラウンのセナに会えた？うわ、嘘くさい。この都市伝説、ファンの間ではかなり有名なんだよ。 幽霊でも会いたいっていう人が。
It was just like the urban legend. I thought it was some kind of silly rumor, but it's really true. Come to think of it, Kureha was nothing like his character in his scary story. He was actually very nice. I couldn't help but feel bad for the way I treated him earlier. Next time I see him, I'll be sure to be extra nice to him. That's adorable. But Sena appeared exactly as the rumors described him. I've got nothing to do until Sayaka shows up. I might as well go and say hello. He may have been a celebrity in life, but now that we're both dead, I guess I could talk to him. I casually approach him and tap him on the shoulder.
Ah!
Oh, he probably doesn't know you're dead. I hadn't intended to surprise him. Sorry, I didn't mean to surprise you.
そこだと目立つから。
Stand out? Stand out of who? What? Then he grabbed me by the arm and pulled me behind the playground equipment. Ah! He wrapped his arms around me as though he wanted to hold me. I raised my voice in protest, but...
Shh. 静かにして。
He quickly told me to quiet down, so I abruptly went quiet.
ごめんね。巻き込んじゃって。見つかったら騒ぎになっちゃうから、もうちょっとだけ我慢してくれる？
Why is that? Who are you hiding from? If who sees you? I was puzzled by his words, but then two high school girls quickly came near.
はあ、セナいないね。
Can they see ghosts?
だから言ったじゃん。ただの噂、ただの都市伝説。
That's funny, he tries to hide from them.
だってさ、SNS で昨日見たってつぶやき見ちゃったんだもん。来るしかないでしょ。
He said all hell would break loose if they saw him.
あんたに猜疑心は皆無なの？もっと疑った方がいいよ。ほら、帰ろ。あ、待ってよ。
I thought the girls' voices trailed off.
はあ、言ったみたいだね。
Poor Sena.
ごめんね。荒っぽいことしちゃって。
I already like you a lot better. Let's see, I need a voice actor to tie this to. Keith Clays. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, he sounds like Keith and Victor Frankenstein. So Keith Clays from My Next Life as a Villainess. He's more known than Code Relay's Victor Frankenstein. Anyway. Not at all. It's my fault for sneaking up on you. Sorry about that.
君には見つかっちゃったね。あの子たちに気を取られすぎたみたい。
Even though I've done 2 games with him in it, I can still hear it, but it's still distinct enough to give Sena his own voice. That's nice. I mean, that's what voice actors are supposed to do, right? Found me out, huh? What does that mean? There's something off about him. Both of those girls were alive, so there was no reason to hide from them. I mean, it's an urban legend, so maybe girls actually have been able to see him. Maybe he just wanted to be left alone today. In a way, I could relate. I've been trying to sort out my feelings too, and I needed some time to do so. It must be hard to be a celebrity, huh?
そう思うならそっとしておいてほしいな。
Don't be rude. I'm sorry.
なんてね。迫真の演技でびっくりしたでしょ。
I certainly was surprised. I'd never really heard him speak before, but I figured he would have been more aloof.
あれ？本当にびっくりしちゃってる？
Yeah. You know, I always kind of figured you'd be a bit more reserved. But you're actually pretty fun to talk to, Sena.
はっはー。さては君、僕のファンじゃないな。
No. Yeah, totally. That's funny. As I tried to tell him I was a fan, he merely laughed, clearly seeing right through me.
僕まだまだだな。君もファンになるくらい、もっと頑張らないと。
Why do you want to make a fan out of her? Why were you hiding from the other girls? I'm so confused. You'll hide from them and not her. You're still trying to increase your fans.
当たり前じゃない。もっと有名になって世界で活躍したいからさ。
Does he know he's dead? He's gotta know, right? It's been a long
それが
time.
今の僕の夢だよ。
I was surprised to see the shiny honesty in his eyes as he spoke. I thought Sena's urban legend spreading around the world was really a great idea. But I wondered if it was normal for ghosts to continue to have dreams. Not that I know that many other ghosts.
さてと、さっき付き合わせちゃったし、これも何かの縁だしね。何か君にしてあげたいな。と言っても、今は握手くらいしかできないけど。
A typical idol, always trying to do something to please a fan. Still, after everything, I wondered how to respond. So it is fate to say. We're gonna say, yes, please.
喜んで。
He held out his hand and I gently took it. He made 2 comically large pumps with our joined hands. Thank you. I thanked him for the handshake and our hands slowly separated. Celebrity handshakes sure are intense.
ちょっと名残惜しいけど、長居するとさっきの子たち、また来るかもしれないし。そろそろ帰ろうと思うんだけど、その前に、君の名前を教えてほしいな。
My name?
ごめん。出会ってまだ数分だし、怖かったかな。
I think we've read enough. Let's go back to up to the top. Fate to say. Well, considering it's fate, if I see you here again, do you mind if I say hello? If it was fate, I thought it best to lean into it. He replied to my words with a puzzled expression. That's when I realized. I thought that because we were both ghosts, it'd be okay to speak casually, but in the end, he was still a celebrity, even in death. Sorry, I might have said too much. I'm just glad I was able to talk with you today. Anyway, I've got something to do, so...
待って、そうじゃなくて。なんていうか、新鮮でさ、びっくりしちゃったというか。こういうのがナンパっていうのかな。初めての体験。
Did she say the pickup line or did he? I don't know anymore. I guess the pickup line would be considered from her. If it was Faye, do you mind if I talk to you again next time? Kind of reminds me of when I met my husband for the first time. He bought me lunch or something at an anime convention, and I felt bad because I had lost my wallet, so he paid for me, and I was like, explaining how upset I was and how I felt bad, and he was like, well, next time you just have to buy me lunch. That was his pickup line. A pickup line? No, that wasn't my intention at all.
わかってるって。大胆な誘いでドキッとしちゃったけどね。
So now he's taking an interest into her because of her boldness, right? She's not a squeaky little fangirl. Bold? Well, maybe you're right. I'll be more careful from now on.
じゃあ、今度僕に声をかけるときは、静かに近づくのも気をつけてね。
Don't poke me on the shoulder. Then that means it's okay if I talk to him again. It certainly seemed that way. I'll do my best not to sneak up on you again. He merely smiled and nodded back at me.
ちょっと名残惜しいけど、長居するとさっきの子たち、また来るかもしれないし。そろそろ帰ろうと思うんだけど、その前に、君の名前を教えてほしいな。
My name.
ごめん。出会ってまだ数分だし、怖かったかな。
No, it's nothing like that. I'm just happy you want to know my name. The complete opposite of how she reacted to Koyo. My name is Misa Ishiki, and she even said it in reverse too.
ありがとう。僕はね、漢字で書くと、星と絆で、セナって読むんだ。
Hey, it's not in all caps anymore. Oh, I always figured Sena was a strange name, but that really is your name, huh?
そうそう。結構気に入ってるから、そのまま芸名にしちゃったんだ。
It's a beautiful name, and it's very fitting for a shining star like you, Sena. You've caught him off guard again with your boldness. Anyway, I'll be sure to say hello next time we bump into each other.
おう。君にはまた会いたいかも。
Do you though? I'm curious why he's afraid of the other girls, but not of her. Probably because he knows that she's not a fan. I don't know. You've left him speechless.
じゃあ、またね、ミサちゃん。
Right, see you later. After parting from him, I decided to take a little walk around the park. He certainly was friendly, wasn't he? Star and Bond. Fancy that. Fancy indeed. Now we get to see how you really feel. After parting ways with Misa, I went for a walk by myself and her words came back to me.
アイドルとしてキラキラ輝いているか。
A lot of people had kind words to say about my name, but none of them had meant as much to me as hers. It's like she was praising who I am and not what I do. I wanted to keep her words in my heart. More than that, I felt myself wanting to be worthy of the words she used to describe me. I looked up into the sky. My head fallen on the orange sky turned into a dazzling blue. I smiled at the twinkling stars.
また会いたいな。
I talked too much today. I'd like to hear more about her next time. It's kind of typical how these routes start. For like idols or people famous or, I don't know, idolized characters. If someone sees them as a person instead of as what they do or what they represent, then they're hooked. And they gotta know more. I'm hoping, I don't know, I'm hoping it goes something deeper than that because I think that's overused these days anyway. As the surrounding area grew dark, I walked absent-mindedly in the park, my thoughts turning to my family. That sounded like a dog barking. I didn't know what Sayaka's dog sounded like, but the bark was similar to a dog like hers. I stood up quickly and looked around. Aw, she's cute in her everyday outfit. There she is. Sayaka! No, actually, I should call her dog over here. As I mumbled to myself, the two of them quickly passed by me. Hey, wait a minute, Tono Damaru, over here. I had played with her dog many times and had known her name since she was a puppy. Please notice me, it's me, Misa. Just then she stopped. Oh, did she? Tono Damaru, this way, girl. Tono Damaru wiggled back and forth, seeming to look for me. I wonder if she can't see me, maybe she can only hear me.
トノダマル、どうしたの？そっちじゃなくてこっちだよ。
Sayaka tried to pull on Tono Damaru's leash, but the dog refused to move.
ちょっと、どうしちゃったの？いつもこっちがコースなのに。
Tono Damaru, please make Sayaka notice me. You're my only hope. Please come this way. I had no way of knowing if she understood me. But after I spoke, Tono Damaru began to approach me.
ちょっと！
Tono Damaru began to pull Sayaka towards me. Thank you, Tono Damaru. I'd love to pet you, but I'm sorry. With that, Tono Damaru came running towards my feet. I wondered if Sayaka would notice.
ほーら、ここには何もないよ。私、調べ物があるから、早めに帰らなきゃいけないんだ。なーに？抗議してるの？ごめんね。大事なことなんだ。
She's lost in grief and can't see past it.
ほら、行くよってば。
Are you finally gonna notice your dog?
もうなんなのさ。そこに幽霊でもいるの？
After she spoke, Sayaka's expression changed. Her mumbling made her realize something.
そこに何かいるの？
Sayaka followed Toronomaru's line of sight and squinted as though she was looking for something. Sayaka, it's me, Misa. I know you probably can't hear me, huh? I'm sorry the last thing before I ended up like this was to make you sad. I'm really, really sorry.
もしそこにいるのがミサなら、私あなたを事故に遭わせてしまって本当にごめんなさい。
What? Huh? What is she saying?
私があんなことしたからいけなかった。本当にバカなことをしたと思ってる。
So did she do something that night, and Misa only wanted to talk to her, but now she thinks it's her fault. That's sad.
本当にごめんなさい。
Sayaka collapsed and Toronomaru rushed over to lean on her. I was struggling to understand what she said. Wait, first of all, what did I do yesterday? Did something happen with Sayaka? I tried to remember, but my memory only went back to the end of the school. Sayaka's words kept repeating in my mind. My accident. Well, we could do the sanity up first. It's all Sayaka's fault. Sayaka is probably the cause of all this. In other words, Sayaka did this to me. I imagined the worst and immediately felt sick. I've done something terrible. Even if it was only for a moment, I couldn't forgive myself for thinking the worst. I suppressed the pain and closed my eyes. For now, I'll just pretend I didn't hear what Sayaka just said. Doing my best to let go of these bad thoughts, I did everything I could to drive the memory of what happened yesterday. I needed to find out the truth about my death. For my sake and for Sayaka's. Back up to the top. It has nothing to do with Sayaka. This had nothing to do with Sayaka, and until I got my memories back, I wasn't going to imagine the worst. Sayaka and I have been friends since kindergarten. She wasn't the type of person to hurt other people. I'm only going to believe what I've seen from her before. But I still needed to try and figure out why she said those things. Without a doubt, there was a lot of meaning behind Sayaka's words that I still didn't understand. The only way for me to find out what really was going on was to recover my memories. If I can manage to stay calm, everything will be fine. Sure, what she said just now was hurtful, but Sayaka must be in a lot of pain too. It's alright, just stay positive. After following Sayaka back to her house, I peered over to look at my house next door. Nobody was home and everything was dark. I couldn't help but worry. Did they move away? That would explain why everything's empty and gone, right? I'm so tired. Just then Koyo's words came back to me. I don't really get what you mean. Why is it so bad for a ghost to be upset?
悪霊と化す。
I wonder if I'll be alright. Overwhelmed with worry, the words just slipped out of my mouth. I should find a place to rest for the night. I wanted to rest in my own room, but I knew that if I saw or heard any more stressful things, I would become a wraith. Really? Just one or two more things? It's fine. Urban Legends Chapter 2. That's the end of this episode. What she do? She goes to sleep in the nurse's office at school. Anyway. I'm glad I included the first chapter into this because it's still not very long. I was a little bit worried how long it was going to be because it was an hour when we got our first choice and there were still two more choices, but it wasn't that bad. Obviously, I'm going to use Sena's CG for this episode because this is not Koyo's route, and we'll use that CG for when we go down his route. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.